This is how flow is marked in the driving assessment in Western Australia. How do examiners in the driving test mark for flow here in Perth, Western Australia? We're going to go through the assessment sheet from one of our clients who unfortunately didn't make it, and it was basically on flow because the person was overcautious, and as a result he's just overdone it, and basically we'll go through a few points where he's missed it, and obviously as a result he's lost the points. And as a final result, he didn't score enough points for flow where he failed. So he basically would have passed based on the entire, assessment had he not done too many mistakes for flow. The first one was during the exercise stopping for shopping, so where he went too far to locate suitable bay where he was supposed to do reverse parking. He's missed a few empty bays and gone to the end of the car park where he actually got blocked by the car that was travelling behind, and the person was trying to obviously understand what the learner driver's intention was, and got too close, and as a result the learner driver had to leave the car park. So he's missed a few good empty bays and fails a series of manoeuvres, missed the opportunity to park, travels too far. Now, should this be really important? We had a question by his parents, should they really care how far the person went to park? And it's arguable, it's we had a couple of years ago, we had somebody who was actually explained to the assessor when the assessor asked, why did you go this far to park? And it was raining, and the candidate says, because the entrance to the shops is just over there, and if I parked at the end of the car park I would have been drenched by the time I get to the shops. So it was sort of, I suppose valid excuse, and the assessor didn't mark him for that. So, sometimes you've got to be clever, you can even say, hey, look, the reason I did it, if you come up with a good excuse and if there's no errors while you're parking, that shouldn't be a problem. The second one was during the exercise left something behind. Basically, it says fails to proceed through manoeuvre, stops or pauses during a manoeuvre, LSM1, low speed maneuver 1. So LSM1 stands for low speed maneuver 1, and LSM2 low speed maneuver 2. These are the options in the software ISS. So basically they don't type this separately, they basically just click the buttons, and that's what it comes up as. So this was during the exercise, left something behind. So the learner failed to proceed through the manoeuvre. If you committed to turning into the driveway, you shouldn't really stop halfway. You should, providing that there was safe turn, there was no cars coming from the opposite direction or somebody reversing out of that driveway for that matter, then, you should really proceed with the manoeuvre without making any pause. So it was basically just a bit of a hesitation that caused him to lose points on flow. By the way, this assessor was really one of the most reasonable assessors who wouldn't really make things up. The third one that obviously sealed his fate, and, obviously he didn't pass because of this. That was while he was reversing out of the driveway to complete the exercise left something behind. It says here fails to track accurately, which is basically under the path, but I'm assuming this is what caused him to get, probably out too wide, because it says erratic. So he would have accelerated a little bit too much as he was reversing out of the driveway. So if it's a level driveway, really we shouldn't, accelerate pretty much at all. Both automatic or manual, but this was an automatic transmission. So basically he should have kept his foot covered over the brake. He should have kept releasing a little bit, and he should have turned sharply in order to end up on the left-hand side of the road as he reversed out of the driveway, because obviously he was turning forward into the right-hand side. So obviously he would have ended up on the left-hand side as he reversed out of it. So basically it says it was erratic, fails to track accurately, erratic. Again, this is just an option where they press the button on the tablet, and there's nothing that the assessor wrote typed separately into it. It should never be really too fast, because this is a low speed maneuver, and you've got to really be sensitive on acceleration, and you've got to control it fully. And certainly you shouldn't allow the assessor to intervene. In this particular situation, the assessor did not intervene, so it was just erratic, but the assessor felt there was no need to intervene, so he gave him a chance. But basically on points he didn't end up passing. So see on the front of the sheet it basically says that he's passed the looking part, which is scored 4, minimum 3. Signalling is scored 5 out of minimum 3 required. Flow, you see he only scored 4 out of the minimum 5, so that's what he failed for. Movement was pretty good, 8 out of minimum required 5. Path wasn't too bad, it was 6 out of minimum required 5. And the responsiveness is not marked if there's no situation where the driver needs to respond to any sort of crisis. So it was pretty smooth ride, but obviously that's what I put down, not applicable. And the vehicle management wasn't too bad, 5 out of minimum 3 required. So basically the person did not meet the standard based on failing for his flow. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.